things that you can do to push someone to commit suicide. You need to believe the victim and you need to listen to them. When I'm trying to report crimes against me, it's because they were actually committed. My predators, the people I tried to turn in, every time I had to speak up on Facebook and YouTube. When I tried to turn in Natalie Bollinger and Tim Beeson, I had to speak up on Facebook because my friends wouldn't listen. They all told me they believed me, but they never once spoke up. They wouldn't even admit that I went to them for help, and then they want to play victim. When I show the world, or at least try, not that anyone will look, when I showed the world that I went to them for help, and how they treated me. Now, number 3. There's number 3 on the list, and we'll go through that one as well. The thing is that I tried to get help. The police and the Bollingers got away with what they did by threatening, harassing, and intimidating people. And then you pretend I'm a bad person for literally screaming for help. None of the things that are taught to law enforcement or the medical community about mandated reporting, none of those things are followed for a disabled and homeless male. We were their bread and butter as far as getting free tax dollars. And they sure need those free tax dollars because once in a while they fuck up. And instead of doing it to a homeless disabled person, they do it to a spoiled black person in a house like Zaid Atkinson or Samuel Leon Lawrence IV, who have the luxury of pretending that they were abused for the color of their skin. They had help getting the body camera evidence and showing the body camera evidence by the very same people who told me that they couldn't do that they couldn't help with that they couldn't even try. The thing is, when there are false allegations, you harm the victim. A victim of false allegations goes through hell. All their friends and family abandon them, throw them away, pretend they don't exist, out of sight, out of mind. You say it's not your fault, but it is your fault. Your fault for looking away. Your fault for just generalizing. Once in a great while, you pretend to give a shit. You don't care how abusive you are or how much you intentionally harm another person. Like Michelle Stewart telling me that she would, of course, let me know. If I messaged her, she would let me know if she's not able to call, if she's not able to get a hold of me. But she didn't do that. She left me hanging for 2 weeks, knowing that doing such a thing could push me to commit suicide because of the abuse that I have to endure out here. I can't function because I'm in a state of crisis, and instead of understanding that, you all exploit it. Every single one of you exploit it. You don't try to understand, yet you expect me to understand. You offer to help me, you waste my time, you lie to me, and you know how I know it's a lie? Because you never once ever tried to help me to turn it into the cops. You gaslighted the fuck out of me. How is it so hard to believe that so many humans would exhibit human nature? That so many people, while telling me that I shouldn't care what other people think, well, they sure as shit give a fuck what other people think. They won't tell the truth or come forward because they care what other people think. They care about the consequences. But they only tell me, they never tell the public. They never speak out. That's what lets me know that none of these people ever cared. Ever actually cared. I don't matter. Number 3, they tell you to tell people stuff like, I'm so sorry. No, don't. See, that's the thing. Before Caitlin Tatum decided that she was going to call me to listen, what she did was she went and read one of those fucking things. And then she fucking scripted that shit at me. I'm supposed to say this and supposed to say this. No. Those are the wrong things to say to somebody. You need to listen, not interrupt them. Every time you do that, you are showing that you have no respect for the victim. Every time you interrupt them to tell them you don't have time, you are showing them, regardless of the words that come out of your mouth, you are showing them you have no respect for them. The things that these people told me are in direct contradiction to what the Bollingers and what the police said. And if they had tried, any one of them tried to understand and helped to turn in their part of the story with me, instead of allowing me to be repeatedly victimized and socially isolated and not caring, telling me that it's my fault because I did desperate things when you didn't give a shit, when you were abusive as fuck to me as a friend. I came to you as a friend, and you harmed me as much as you possibly could. You went out of your way to be as mean and rude and cruel and disrespectful and dismissive as you possibly could. Reading a script of what you're supposed to say. You're not supposed to say anything. You're supposed to fucking listen. A lot of times, on the list here, it says not to go sharing people's personal information. Don't go sharing a survivor's story. Well, you know what? There are situations where you have to protect human lives. Fuck your goddamn secrets. What, you want me to keep it secret that Natalie was on fucking heroin because she was embarrassed? You want me to keep it a secret that her dad fucking raped her? That Tim Beeson fucking raped her? The things that these men projected onto me are the things that they fucking did. And I was never allowed to defend myself to the media, to the public, to the courts. Ever! And no matter what, you don't have time. You don't care if I blow my brains out in this fucking parking lot. Not a single one of you who sent me a fucking friend request gives a fuck if I fucking hang myself tonight. None of you care if any of these fucking predators kill my sister or my niece. Why are you calling me selfish after playing fucking head games? You do all the things that you're not supposed to do to a victim. Every single time that Caitlin Tatum said one of those things on the list of things you're not supposed to say. But on this one, those things are on there. Sure, say one or two of those things as an icebreaker at the beginning. But then you need to fucking listen to the goddamn victim. Don't break it down for them. You are invalidating them as a human being when you do that. When you want to break it down and psychoanalyze it before they're finished even speaking. You want to use your bias. These are things you're not supposed to do. These are things that are betraying the trust of the victim. Talking over them. Trying to play devil's advocate. Everyone wants to play devil's advocate instead of fucking listen. I tell these people my story because they need to understand my story in order to help. They tell me their story because they don't give a fuck about me. They only care about them. And then they want to pretend that I'm a bad person. When I post up the fact that they invalidated me entirely by repeatedly talking over me, it doesn't matter your fucking intent. Listen to the goddamn victim. When literally everything else is more important than the victim for 6 goddamn years. You let people harm them. You let people scream and shout at the victim. Accuse the victim of doing things that they didn't do. The victim reaches out to you and begs you, as a friend, please be a friend for once! Fucking listen! It wasn't my predators who pushed me to the point that I wanted my life to end. It was literally every single one of my friends and family. And how literally they went out of their way to dismiss me every single time I tried to get help. When I spoke about the help that they gave me, crickets out of them. They said them things to me, but they wouldn't say them to the public. Wouldn't. It's not that they couldn't. Then having to deal with my little sister and her drug addiction. Having to try to get help from anybody in my fucking family. I told you what would happen if I did. They would rip me off for everything that I got. There's a reason that I fight hard to get assisted termination of life legal. I have to pretend at all points in time when I'm in public like Everything is fucking perfect and dandy, and I'm permanently stuck in public. While the media goes out of their way to slander all homeless people and all disabled people. And so do the police. You don't even care if it's a black person that the police kill. As long as they're homeless or called mentally ill, you don't give a shit. Did BLM give a shit about the homeless or just Zaid Atkinson? Did they care about the homeless or just Samuel Leon Lawrence IV? Well, these people had help. They weren't being accused of being stalkers by a bunch of fucking junkies. They weren't being assaulted everywhere they fucking went. They weren't being blown off when they tried to get help. They had actual people who were actually willing to help, actually reach out to them and actually help. Unlike the Klang family who wasted my time. I'm not even allowed to beg you to kill me, because you will punish me for it. You'll go out of your way to try to put me on a Facebook ban or a YouTube ban for telling the truth. The police in Tillamook victimized me to the point that I would rather kill myself than go to them alone. I would rather kill myself than be victimized again for having to turn in my predators alone. All of these people said they would help me to turn it in, and I sent them mass quantities of evidence. They don't even look at it. They don't even fucking look at it. The problem with Michelle Stewart, I sent her the fucking evidence. I sent it to her. She didn't fucking look. I'm supposed to understand because of her brain injury. What about my injuries? What about my injuries? My predators assign their bias to me. While my predators came at me and just wouldn't stop, and still to this day have not stopped. None of my friends ever tried to help. Ever tried to actually fucking help. Look at evidence and help me turn it in. I'm not allowed to do it alone. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed. I have to keep my mouth shut and pretend to be happy. If I don't, I'm victimized for having a fucking panic attack over abuse, over the fact that I have no support network. The first thing my predators did was cut me off. I have no support network. None. Through all of this, I didn't have one, not even one friend or family member who cared. I had fakes who pretended and lied. Lied to me. Michelle Stewart lied to me. I explained to her that her doing exactly what these other people were doing is what pushes people to commit suicide. And what did she do? She did it again for 2 fucking weeks straight and said, I'm not like those people. Don't fucking lie to me. I told you what hurts me, and you went out of your way to only do that. You showed you didn't give a fuck about me. You weren't going to try any of the things that actually help. Only the things that you want to do. How about you fucking listen? How about you don't fucking interrupt me over and over again? How about you don't make me post it on the fucking internet? How about you actually help me? How about you tell these things to the courts, to the police, and to the fucking public? The things that you're telling me, instead of letting me get treated like I'm a schizophrenic, because you never came forward. How about instead of telling me repeatedly to do things, how about you find out what help I need? And instead of wasting our time by doing shit that is fucking useless or harmful, you help how I need. Which means listen to me. Look at the evidence. Verify that I told the fucking truth. And help me turn it in. When they say don't interrupt the victim, those things that it tells you to say to a victim, to a survivor, those are only to break the ice. The next step is to follow through. Not go through every single one of those things like a script, like Caitlin Tatum did, like a fucking retard. Do you like how I said that? She wanted to treat me like I was a fucking retard. It's okay to treat somebody that way, it's just not okay to say it, huh? If you don't say it, then it magically didn't happen, huh? No, each and every single one of these people preyed on the mentally ill tag. Every single one of you. Friend and enemy alike. You didn't care if it was true or not. You wanted to get as far away and look as far away as you could. I don't know who the fuck is smoking resin, but you're a little close to my vehicle. There they go. Fucking stinks. Resin stinks. They don't have any pot here. It's legal to smoke pot. It's just not legal to smoke it outside. There's moisture here, so they're not going to get in any trouble for smoking it. It's just the fact for me that they were smoking right next to my vehicle, and that'll bring the heat down on me. And I've been victimized enough by the law enforcement here. People keep wanting to tell me what to do. You haven't stopped to hear what I'm saying. You're too busy telling me what to do, what to think, what to feel. See, here's the thing, is that those things that it says that you're supposed to say, those are only icebreakers. You know what? When you tell them that they're allowed to have feelings and it's okay for them to come to you and speak to you, then you need to let them speak to you. Not wait till the first chance that you can get to say the other 6 things on that list, to make sure that you said them, so you can say, all right, the things that I'm supposed to say to him, I said, they're off the list. I got that out of the way. My hands are clean. I'm done. I gave him the number to a resource. I'm done. No, you need to tell the truth about your involvement in the situation. The police and the Bollingers and a lot of other people got away with committing crimes against me because you wouldn't look, you wouldn't listen. You wouldn't speak up, you wouldn't help the victim to turn it in, knowing that the victim would be victimized further if they had to go in alone. Everybody knew that I was outspoken in Boulder, like most homeless. Then again, I was far more outspoken than that because most of the people on the streets rather kill you than go to the police, or threaten to kill you than go to the police, or assault the living shit out of you before going to the police. Because police don't listen to the fucking homeless, not unless they fucking hate you. Just like Kelly Henson said right here on my channel. Just like Mandy Singer said right here on my channel. The only reason either one of them ever got satisfaction is because an officer had a hard-on for somebody that these women didn't like. So they just went to the officer that hated him. 2 different men, by the way. But then again, the things that Kelly Henson asked me to do, I did. And then later on, she wanted to pretend I was a bad person for doing it. But then again, she's an alcoholic. Yeah, she doesn't want the world to know she's an alcoholic, and now they do. You guys don't understand that every electronic device that I have is full of evidence. The only place that I can go with it now is to YouTube and Facebook. None of my friends care who abuses me. Not one of them. I posted up the mandated reporter training repeatedly. You know what happens if a disabled and autistic male follows the DDS, well, their guidelines and guide for you to self-advocate? You're victimized. That's why the first thing that it says is to go to friends and family. Friends and family like who? Tara Lee Hicks, Caitlin Tatum, Brandon Ratner, Brandon Jeffson, Kim Jeffson, Rory Jeffson, Sean Jeffson, Jason Jeffson, Dana Jeffson, Jace Jeffson, Cammie Jeffson, Brent Jeffson, Derek Jeffson. How about Brenda Dickinson or Dennis Dickinson? They were involved since before I went to Virginia. Matter of fact, Dennis and Brenda Dickinson, along with David and Laura Nelson, were key and instrumental in helping me to get to Virginia. Both of those sets of people, well, not Dennis, but Laura Nelson and David Nelson were 100% apprised of the situation. I kept them completely informed. Same thing with Brenda Dickinson. Same thing with Russell Huggins. You guys did everything that you could to assist my predators in destroying evidence, to assist my predators in preventing me from being allowed to go to court, to assist my predators in preventing me from being allowed any of the rights or privileges of a human being. For 6 years running, you have repeatedly forced me to seek help in a way that I am supposed to not do it. I'm not supposed to turn this stuff in alone. I am never, ever supposed to talk to any lawyer or any agency or any officer without a friend or family member present. Because those are literally my only protections. And if my friends and family won't make the time, that makes me guilty? Is that what you're telling me? That I must be guilty because they don't give a fuck about me enough to make the time to tell the goddamn truth? They love me enough to ask me to hide the fact that they were involved? Really, is that love? Is that love? You're supposed to listen to the victim, and my friends wouldn't. They always wanted to make it about themselves, which is dismissive to the victim. They always wanted to interrupt me to tell me what to think and what to feel. That is dismissive to the victim. You want to try to psychoanalyze it, break it down. While I'm trying to tell you what's going on, you won't stop talking over me and playing devil's advocate or telling me about yourself. Those things are all dismissive. All of those things show that you have no respect for the victim. All of those things are a betrayal of trust to the victim. You can see plainly with the educational material. You listen to that educational material and then you look at what my friends and family did. And you realize how abusive they were. When I give them a tiny taste of that back, oh my God, do they fucking flip their shit like somebody fucking blew up their fucking battleship. Like somebody raped their dog and made them eat it. Oh my God, into the world, Sean told the truth about them. We better play victim, Sean told the truth. It's not that I never tried, it's that nobody else did. Nobody else would even try what works. They procrastinated, and the longer they procrastinated, the more resources that I had that got taken away, or fucking stolen, or destroyed by literally the predators I was trying to turn in, because you would do absolutely nothing. when you finally pretend like you're going to listen. You can't stop reading from a fucking script long enough to hear what the fuck I'm saying. And as you are making it obvious that you're reading from one of these fucking dumbass things like a script, no, this is a guideline for you to break the ice and not make that person feel invalidated. But when you make sure that you repeatedly interrupt them, you are invalidating them every time you interrupt them. When you interrupt them to make sure that you say everything on that script so that you can say, hey, I said the things I was supposed to. No, you didn't. Those aren't things that you're supposed to interrupt the victim to say repeatedly. You're supposed to listen to the victim. Listen to the victim. How the fuck are you going to listen to the victim or claim that you listen to the victim when you're busy talking about you? All that's going to do is make the victim want to blow their fucking head off. That's common goddamn sense. Every single interruption is an invalidation of the victim. Every excuse that you make to procrastinate allows their predator to get away to do it to them again. I'm supposed to go to a friend or family member when I'm abused, and they're supposed to help me to turn it in, because that's the only way that it works. Well, none of my friends or family cared. Not one of them actually cared. If they did, they would have tried to help me turn in my predators. Instead of victimizing me, after I waste all of my money on their empty goddamn promises. Just because they're fake friends doesn't make it okay to victimize me. Actually, it does. Because the law doesn't matter unless you care. The police know they can do whatever they want to the homeless, so they do whatever they want to the homeless. The media knows that nobody cares about the homeless. They've been trying to tell y'all that we're all horrible excuses for human beings for most of my life. Telling you not to help the homeless, to ignore them. That's right. And so you do. They tell you to ignore the victim. And so you do. All of these people should have killed me, rather than dismiss me the way that they did. All of them should have listened to the victim instead of going out of their way to show that they never cared about me. They didn't even try to find out about the abuse that I'm going through. They were too busy talking. Too busy reading from a script. Oh, if I do this and say this, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to. No, you're not. You're not supposed to interrupt the victim repeatedly to put in your own fucking opinion. Your opinion doesn't matter. Let them finish the fucking story. But not one of you ever does that. You're too busy talking over me until I can't communicate. You have forced me into a severe fucking panic attack where all I can think about is killing myself. Because you're never going to shut the fuck up. When I posted up on the internet that you just wouldn't shut the fuck up. You wouldn't shut the fuck up. And I tried nicely. as nicely as a human being can possibly fucking ask. Hundreds of times I begged you to listen. Instead of telling you to shut up, I asked you to please listen. And no matter what, you wouldn't shut the fuck up. Don't make it about you. But every one of you want to do that, don't you? You want to make it about you. Just like most of these character references that people wrote, they wrote a lot of self-serving shit in there. And I'm going to tell you, most of that's actually true. Kinga Nichols, when she wrote one of those, like I said, they did do things. They just never admitted to it. Sure, she wrote a character reference, but she never tried to help me turn it in. A lot of these people asked me who it needed to be turned into. Well, I don't fucking know at that point. I'm literally calling everyone that I need to fucking call, and they're telling me to call somebody else who tells me to call somebody else. Everybody tells me it's somebody else's job to investigate, for literally all of these places to tell me it's not their job. So in these people who are asking me who to send it to, I don't fucking know. Because you never made the calls with me. These people got to lie to me repeatedly. I got to try to find somewhere where I can get access to show what's going on. But at the same time, how am I supposed to do that while I'm still being victimized out of every goddamn thing I have over and over again? And I can't function because I have to worry about these things being stolen. It's 11:14. They close in 45 minutes, so I got to get my stuff cleaned up. I was going to talk to James. He was going to call today, but he didn't. I don't want to hound him because then I'll get treated like I'm harassing people. I just want my life to end. That's all I want. Not because of what the predators did, but because of people that I love who showed me that they don't care what happens to me. I love Caitlin Tatum, or at least who I thought she was, but I was wrong. I love Natalie and Alicia Bollinger and Maddie Boa, at least who I thought they were, but I was wrong. I love Brenda Dickinson, at least who I thought she was, but I was wrong. I loved Laura Nelson, or at least who I thought she was, but I was wrong. The same thing with David Nelson. The same thing with both Jeffson families. I'm a dumbass, though. I still love them. No matter how much they hurt me. And not a single one of them cares.